Welcome back to Vampyr. Well, I took a look at what I had done wrong. Last chapter,
It's
there
locked, all
was
right. It's locked. It's
a
locked, all right.
fairly major mistake on my part. But one that isn't really, isn't really obvious. This. Okay, where does this key go? See anything glowing? Basically, when I didn't go around and get all the clues to do the let Dawson die option and made him a vampire instead, really, without that option, I should have actually tried to kill him. The reason being, not over here either. I did not rest between times. I went straight to Lady Asbury, then I went to the hospital, and after Swansea. The hospital can actually survive losing him. But if certain factors are met, it won't. One of those factors is not resting after turning Dawson into a vampire. Because of how this handles the next night, and things happen, and yeah, so that's what happened. If I had rested, I may have been able to salvage. Everything is now blocked off. I know I can get back out up here, but still. I have no idea what this little key I got off Swansea's for. Now, let's look at that note before I go wandering around. And I have got a gigantic mess now. I'm not even looking at this. Everybody that is still alive, except for him, because I gave him medicine before, is now sick. And I still don't know about these four right here. So, I was going to look at that. In here is in there. Dose of insulin. Nope. Gotta be in this one. Nope. Rare species of vampire. As a scholar and exegete, I guess, of ancestral writings, I would never insist enough about the importance of taking legends and ancient folklore into account by searching for hints about hidden or lost secrets. A common mistake is to take what we know for an established truth and use it to discard any contrary material. For example, we must consider the possibility of undiscovered species of vampires, and the necessity to rethink what we see as the established truth about the various types of mortals, based on what we know and what we have gathered through time. For how many centuries did we consider that vampire was the vernacular term for what we had learned to call Ekon? Until the day 4 explorers of the Brotherhood found proof in Siberia that Volkoids were a lupine type of vampire. We considered these creatures to be linked to the mythological werewolf. Now we know that it's not true. What about the rest? What about the Rakshasa from my homeland? What about the Chinese Jiangxi or the Nuchin of southern Chile? And without even leaving the beautiful Great Britain, what about the stories about bat-shaped women sometimes seen flying around St. James Church in Louth? What about the creature only identified as a disaster in some obscure testimonies, which tried to destroy London in 1666 by spreading plague all around the city? What about the Nimrod, the mythical figure of the restless vampire hunter, sometimes described by ancient British icons as a legendary huntsman who only feeds on his prey's blood and could go unnoticed amongst the mortals and immortals? Interesting. I tell you, my brothers, we can never be too sure what we could find. Only we could forget for a few minutes what we're supposed to already know. From the unveiling by the night by Usher Tree, Primary of St. Paul. Now, I don't think McCollum would be one of those, but again...
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, this is all gonna be locked up, isn't it? What we got here? Nope. Get another one right there. I got 3 of these exploding characters, huh? Okay. Back it off. Nope. Nope. Oh, what the heck just hit me there? Okay. Alright. Yep, just call that one in. What we got here? Oh, kind of a shadow one, huh? Thank you for the donation. Oops. Wasn't focused, so don't that was as destructive attacks would have liked. No. No. I'll get rid of her first. Okay, that one's gone. Ooh, get out of that mess. There, stuck in a tent. Resist this. Okay. So, story-wise, this looks to be the final chapter. I believe there is a part after this from looking at... Well, I checked the walkthrough but didn't read it over. I wanted to check the last chapter. Figure out what I did wrong there. There is one section after this. But main storyline, I assume, ends with 6. And that's just kind of cleaning things up after. Okay. So I am going to be heading up there. But I want to try and take care of as much of this mess as possible.
Best be moving on.
I can't do that.
We've got... Watch yourselves. There's one of them. That leads us.
Okay. Oops. So I want to get rid of this guy. And crossbow, no, I don't need it. Try and dodge that when he's hitting me with a torch. Anyone else? Okay. Right, there's one. And there. Okay. I want to go over here. Yeah, I'll take advantage of the distraction. Thank you very much. That.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a toy.
thanks. I don't feel like dropping in. I'll take advantage of every single fight that I can. Where am I at? Okay, let's clear that one. Going around here would be the better option. Nope. Never mind that it's not a throughway. This is over here. Okay. What is it? It's starting up again. Okay, be right back.
He's a bloody vampire hunter.
Okay, shut that program down again. You remember to do that apparently. Waited for it to save, but it's somebody back on the other side of this gate here. Don't think there's anybody in there. Okay. I want going completely the wrong direction. Of course. You go this way.
Now everything seems under control, more or less.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for this guard of something.
You again. What do you want?
Do you need medical help, sir?
Yeah, I do. If you can throw in some drugs, I can find use for that too.
Been a while since we've seen any news.
So you can sell them on the black market? Sorry. I'll only provide you with exactly what you need.
Fair enough, Dr. Reed. Don't cost me nothing to ask.
Are you worried about the conditions in London?
I've heard rumours about some sort of militia patrolling, killing the sick. The wet boot boys are overrun.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Okay.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
The bodies are piling up, but I'm not afraid. I'm still alive, and I intend to stay that way.
Can I offer you my medical help, Miss Cox?
Giving out for free? You'd make a poor businessman, Dr. Reed.
Perhaps I would. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you. But don't expect me to owe you anything.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Okay, I'm mainly looking for medical supplies at the moment. Do I have rivets currently? Okay. Because I know I need rivets for something.
Times like these are good.
He didn't deserve
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Do you need any help?
Can't be good for business to see the bartender cough in your beer.
Indeed. It would be a shame to taint the delicate taste.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Reed. My customers and I, we all thank you.
Are you concerned about the sanitary situation?
It may surprise you, but I'm not. I've heard about the men-at-arms and the fights between gangs at night, but that's nothing new.
I wish I shared your optimism.
It's not optimism. Gangs have been fighting in this part of town since before I was born. This war will stop when enough blood has been spilled.
Well, that's one way to look
Goodbye,
at it.
Mr. Watts.
I should have offered a drink to the boy. Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
I think I'm losing my mind. You still working at this hour? That's what I call dedication.
Do you require medical assistance, Miss Cavendish?
Don't feel so good if you have to know. I knew that keeping the bar open with the epidemic wasn't a good idea.
Take this, it'll help. Perhaps you should think about closing the Turquoise Turtle for a while.
Tom always said we got to keep the doors open. But thank you, Doctor.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
Of course I am. Everywhere's deserted. Houses, streets all empty. People buying guns. We hear them go off every night. It's bloody frightening.
I'm guessing that nothing new
Goodbye,
will be
Mr.
added,
Captain.
but
The epidemic, no one dares go outside.
same time, it doesn't hurt to check. Anybody down there? Try to find everybody as quick as possible. Hate to say it, but if I miss one or two, rather not though. Okay. Many in a house around here, isn't there? That one. There's at least one house person.
To every night a darkness, and every dawn another death.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. Please don't stay too long, sir. What can I do for you, Dr. Reed?
New there. Fatigue.
Mrs. Fishburne, are you in need of any medical assistance?
I am afraid I am, Doctor. I don't feel well at all.
Then let me give you a prescription.
I thank you for your generosity, sir. It's something this part of town truly needs.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
It's locked, all right.
I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most these days.
In here.
I cannot enter.
Okay. I think that's all that's on this section of the docks. One of them are on the western side, so let's just cut across. Running all over the place. Not seeing or hearing anything down there, so going. Okay. Did I get him? I got him. All right. I think they're between me and the other people. Maybe not. It's marker. I think there's somebody over there. The basic plan is to try and get everybody. If I miss somebody, oh, you maybe stand up,
I can't
sir.
protect the whole city. It's hard enough to cover the docks by myself.
He's sick. Yes, he is. Come on. I'll come back for him.
A vampire killed is another sight.
Okay. You're over here, just the one.
Good evening, young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Young man, do you require medical attention?
I don't like asking for help, but I don't want to be one of those poor sods dying in the streets.
There's no shame in asking for help, especially when you are in desperate need of it. Here, take this. You should recover in no time.
Thank you, I suppose.
Show me what you have to offer then, Mr. Nightingale.
More basic weapon parts. Many are in the docks. I don't want to continuously have to restart. Try and cancel that. Definitely going the wrong way for him. Circle back around. He just stood up. It's here. Nothing. Okay.
Wet boots shouldn't be fighting each other.
Yeah.
They've got bigger.
Good evening, Mr. Throckmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Actually, I may. In my line of work, I have to stop at any sign of infection.
Treating a vampire hunter's wounds is certainly a first for me. I'm happy to help you, of course.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Your support means a lot.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Okay. Where are others? Obviously, they're low level and easily taken care of. Okay, quick stop. I'm gonna keep those close to 5 as possible. I'm doing this. Is there anybody in the North Docks? I don't think so. I think this was all just combat. Let's take a swing back. There is one or two houses around here. Area maybe. So though.
I can't protect the whole city. It's hard enough to cover the docks by myself.
Now let's go back to the other side. Check that. What I'll probably have to do is come back after I get the antidote. There's somebody? Don't sit.
The wet boot
There we go.
Good evening, Mr. Woodbeat.
Good evening to you, my young doctor.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Unfortunately, yes. The spirit is willing, but the flesh, well, you know.
Nobody is immune to disease. There's no need to be ashamed of that.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Now maybe I'll live another day or two.
Goodbye, sir.
So I'm in that section.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
I never really felt safe in this town anyway. Now's the first time that everyone seems to feel the same way as me.
Is anything worrying you right now?
Gunshots? I hear them every night. Who's firing? Who are they shooting at? That's what's scary.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Okay. He was the one that had the level 2 here. Enid, I swear, is in a house. Can't remember offhand. He's gonna be walking around. I thought he was by the store.
Maggots and liars.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
Aren't you worried about the conditions here in London?
I've heard armed men have started patrolling the city, even killing the sick to stop the epidemic. Starting to like this city again.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reed? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
So, let's see. Enid is in a house. I just don't remember which house. My way back to the store over here. Oh. Out there. Store on the other side. Him? Maybe? Nope. Yes.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Nope.
Of course. Dr. Reed. Best grow eyes in the back of that head, sir.
Where I talk to her.
Easy targets in these parts.
Yeah, Pretty sure the other guy is on that side, wandering around somewhere near stores.
It's hard enough to cover the docks by myself.
Okay. Is here.
I know I've got something that'll strike your fancy. If not, I'll find you something.
Lots of doors open with 5 various cabinets to search through 2. Yeah, I was gonna check down here, I never did. Do that. Is behind me and this way. Nope, on the wrong way. You're in the way. That marker right here. Keep an eye on any doors. Eastern Ducks. I'm passing it. Passing it. On this side? Oh, yeah, is that what I just went through? That might be what I just went through. Hmm. Those 2 are the last ones. Just when he was by docks or hostel as well. Oh boy. Just when he was by that. Huh. There he is. There are paths where he can walk in it.
Nobody followed you here, Dr. Reed.
Do you need help, Mr. Grader?
Death by disease or by bullet? Do I really have to choose?
Well, I have nothing to stop the bullets, but this should make you feel better.
You have a strange sense of humor, Dr. Reed. But thanks anyway.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
Not really. I've spent so many days hiding to escape retaliation from the Wet Boot Boys. Now that there's so much chaos, they might forget about me.
Goodbye, Mr. Grader. Take care.
Please, sir. Come and have a gander.
Yes. There's
Good
like.
evening, Miss Gillingham. May I come in?
Of course, of course.
Okay. Oh. I was gonna run around this whole dock area.
So,
I noticed that door.
Dr. Tippets, what brings you back here? We haven't talked in quite some time.
Do you require medical attention, miss?
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Tippets. I must confess I haven't felt that well of late.
I'll try my best. Here, take this. And please, try to get some rest.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Are you worried about the sanitation crisis in London?
Too much noise, too much shouting. It keeps me up. Is it really gunfire I'm hearing?
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham.
Okay. So, docks clear. West End is going to be harder because I don't know where everybody is. So I'm going to head through. It doesn't have as much trouble going this way. And head through Whitechapel. But let's see. Doors should be unlocked, so let's place a marker there. Get rid of that one. And off to the left down here. Okay, coming in this way. Nobody is that is known is at the club. Of course, he can't be sick because he's now a vampire.
Hello, Venus.
Hello, Jonathan. Please, come in. Know that you are always welcome here. But what do you need from me, Jonathan?
Do you need my medical attention?
It would appear that old habits die hard, my dear. I would appreciate your help as always.
And I'm happy to give it to you, as always.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Goodbye for now.
At least you survived the Great War.
And I think the others. No. It's Louise that was the other one. Okay.
It could be.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
Do you need medical assistance, Clarence?
It's a little late for visiting hours, don't you think?
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Support the equality between...
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my medical attention, Charlotte?
Indeed. Unlike you and my mother, I can still become ill.
Oh, you cannot imagine how relieved I'd be to catch a cold again.
My mother once told me the same thing. I sometimes wonder if she's forgotten what it feels like to be ill.
Nothing else there.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Let's see, where is he at? He is.
Good evening, Miss Teasdale. How have you been since you returned home?
Dr. Reed. Oh, thank God you returned safely from these awful streets. I was so worried about my father that I left without thanking you properly.
Please don't mention it, miss.
Good. I found him, you know. My dad. Or what was left of him. I think my abductor intended to do the same thing to me.
Do you need my medical attention, miss?
I don't need your help specifically. I can assure you there are many competent doctors around.
I have no doubt about it, but I'm offering you my help anyway.
All right then. But please leave me alone for now.
What do you do for a living, Miss Teasdale?
Before my kidnapping, I was a waitress in a pub. Now I'm unemployed.
Were you fired?
No. It's just that after my recent experience, I don't feel like I can go back to my normal life. I need to do something useful.
Be very careful, Miss Teasdale. You were lucky to escape death once, but vampires lurk everywhere.
You killed my kidnapper by yourself, didn't you? No offense, Doctor, but you're just a doctor. I don't see why I couldn't do the same.
What do you intend to do?
Dad always told me, Louise, if you want something, don't stop until you have it. I did my research and I found it. Ichabod Throgmorton, professional vampire hunter. I'll be his apprentice.
What can you tell me about this area?
I've never really liked this part of town. It was where my father wanted to live. I won't remain here much longer.
What exactly don't you like about it?
People here are contemptuous and elitist. My dad always said, Louise, always treat people like you want them to treat you.
Louise, tell me what you really think about your father's sacrifice to save you.
I'm proud he went after me. I forgive him all his harsh words, all his bloody attitudes. I only wish I could tell him how much I loved him.
Yes. It can be traumatic, not having the chance to say goodbye to those we love.
Yes, Doctor. And there's no treatment for that type of pain, isn't that right? That may be the last thing my father taught me.
You seem to cherish your father a great deal.
Dad was the best. Kept an eye on me, but let me make my own mistakes. Louise used to say, mistakes are the best teacher. You would have liked him.
I'm sorry you didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye.
That's all right. He's buried in consecrated ground now. Nothing bad can happen to him.
Louise, what can you tell me about the vampire who captured you?
The little fucker claimed he'd fallen in love with me. That he wanted to spend eternity with me. Not a bad idea. At least that's the way it seemed at first.
Really? Did you consider accepting his proposal?
Well, immortality. Not a common wedding gift, is it? I think he just wanted to have his way with me. Can vampires even fuck, Doctor?
What? Well, I really can't answer that. Well, since they are creatures of blood, physically speaking, I suppose an erection is possible, but
Don't be embarrassed, Dr. Reed. I was just asking.
That's kind of useless now, but...
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Never heard of him.
Really? He's very well known in London, throughout the country even.
He a big shot or something? Never interested in politics myself. All words and no action.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. And be careful. Until we meet again.
Remember, don't let any strangers come into your house.
We already got him. Okay. Yeah.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Guard. Need shop. Is his mother sick? Yes, she is. That's 2 I can get right now. Fairly easily without wandering all over the place. And the shop is on the way. Oh, read mansion. Cool. Letter. That in one moment.
Yes, Mr. Jonathan?
Yeah, I think that's good use for that.
Avery, I finally deciphered my father's puzzle. Among other things, I found his watch. I'd really like you to have it.
I can't accept this gift, sir.
Yes, you can, Avery. You deserve it.
I thank you, sir. I'll keep it until the day I die.
Which may be sooner than expected.
Medical attention, Avery.
I won't refuse, sir. I don't feel that good these days.
Here is your prescription. You'll feel better soon enough.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, nothing else?
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
She will be upstairs.
Your good friend Mr. Crossley returned from the war too. But the poor man does not seem well.
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already? Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Yeah, that's locked.
Do you need my medical attention, Mother?
Oh, you know I always refused to let you listen to my chest, son. It always seemed awkward, even when I felt ill.
I think you should take this. You'll feel better.
I'm not sure I'll ever ever feel better, but thank you, my son.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Okay, you stop off in his room. And I want to keep these topped off as much as possible. Okay. Really going there. Back down. Note first. We mentioned 8th March 1908. My dear Avery, as I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I'm never to return, you are the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reed. Okay. There. Up the front and over to the shop. That's what he's talking about.
Reed. A great night, what?
Do you need medical help?
You would save my life, Dr. Reed. I have not felt so bad in many years.
Don't worry. There is nothing serious to fear. I have seen far worse, I can assure you.
I cannot imagine the pain these people must face then. You have my gratitude, Doctor. This disease has ruined my appetite.
Calhoun, tell me about your relationship with Doris Fletcher.
Oh, Doris. Cold fire and burning ice trapped in a perfect body. Our passion was as intense as it was brief. What an actress.
How did you meet her?
On a boat to France before the war. She was thinking about a career in Paris, and I was eager to try French gastronomy. We both returned disappointed.
I expect you've seen her on stage, too.
She really is the best actress of her generation. Such frailty and such strength at the same time. I hope she'll play again soon. She's been away for too long.
You sound surprisingly sad. Have you regrets?
I think of her as a divine dish. I'm glad I was able to taste it, but I regret I could only get a bite of her mystery.
You really loved her then?
She fascinated me, Dr. Reed. I can't imagine what she must have endured through her life to reach such a level of emotion and sensibility.
So, did you try the restaurant I recommended?
Oh, yes. I can't thank you enough, my dear doctor. Exquisite, but expensive. But what is money made for, if not for little pleasure?
I'm glad you enjoyed the place.
I do, Doctor, I do. Thank you again.
Missed a hint. Oh well. I imagine had I lectured him.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
I got 407. Now look at what I need. I'm not even sure what I need, really. What do I have? We got enough of that. Okay. Oh, for blood sample. Oh. Really had a lot of that, didn't I? Opium. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't need any of that. May have to come back. I think I was gonna.
Whether you need to buy something or not, I'm happy to help.
Okay, so now those three are at the other end of town. I have no idea where those others are. Let's get them into Whitechapel. Go around this thing, or do I have to go through it? I can go around.
Burn it, boys! Roll back to the hell.
No, no. That's why I was trying to retarget him. Okay. No. There. Okay. Okay. Oh. You sit. Back on track here.
this?
This is you.
It's locked.
I never unlocked that one. Go back through, but I think it's be more beneficial to go through Whitechapel then. I unlocked one of the two doors. Okay. Can I just cut through here? Oops, uh-oh. I just didn't get myself into a corner. That. There we go.
Proven by many. Even the
Where?
flu is no match for the Swanborough
Good evening,
cordial.
Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
I can try to help your body heal, sir. But you must stop destroying it.
The war destroyed me, Doctor.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against a second opinion, Dr. Reed.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Should be good for now. Hopefully. Let's talk to him. Well, gonna go unlock that door in the process here. I take the side road. Avoid the fight. Merchant. The hideout. Top off the medicines. Let's make one of those. I think I'll need it, but you never know. In one door, out the other. Right. There's somebody. Are you kidding me? There we go.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Indeed. I've never been good at explaining my feelings, but I can tell when my body is hurting me.
You have nothing to be worried about. You should recover by taking this.
Sounds so easy to fight disease. Too bad it's not the same making people smile again.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
What kind of question is that? What am I supposed to answer, exactly?
The truth. And I believe you just did it, actually.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
What kind of question is that? What am I supposed to answer, exactly?
The truth. And I believe you just did it, actually.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you're not in your place? That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Have you any recent news of Aloysius Dawson?
I try not to listen to gossip or rumors. Unlike my brother, I am only interested in facts.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
You got the wrong brother. There we go.
Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Why do I always have feelings of deja vu when I talk to you?
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I'm afraid I do. I knew we should have left London.
I don't want to appear tactless, but you're risking your health by remaining outside at this hour of night.
Says the doctor, who also works outside at night. But as always, the imprudent person enjoys the company of their fellows.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He has always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Have you any recent news of Aloysius Dawson?
The wall he is planning to build around the West End worries me. How could we leave this city if we're trapped inside?
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Okay. Hopefully that added one more to this. Nope. Where is... outside Dawson's place before? I mean, he's still there. Interesting. Three pressure plates. Where's it for? More pressure plates. Locked.
Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they can tell me everything. They told me that you have not taken another life since your poor sister died.
Do you require medical attention?
If you don't mind.
You'll feel better after taking this.
Thank you very much. I feel better already.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then?
Oh, I can tell you many things. But they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The Guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Perhaps later. How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right. Let me hear it.
You're on a path to redemption, Jonathan. But be careful. One single trip and you'll fall.
That doesn't sound promising.
Take this, young Ekon, as a personal reward for your strong will. Keep following the right path and you'll reach safety.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
I would rather not know. How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Have you any news concerning Aloysius Dawson?
The cards told me the old man finally got himself an extension. I hope you made the right choice, Jonathan.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. The Fool and the Empress. Again. What are the cards trying to tell us?
Found him, and he doesn't want me to read the book. As long as I don't accidentally auto-open it, it'll be fine. One of these. There it is. Vampires are dangerous, deadly, vicious sometimes. This is a fact, and I won't deny it. And that's precisely why we must understand what they are. Sometimes who they are, in order to achieve a better mutual understanding. Do you remember the interview with Titus Flavius Josephus? Conducted by one of us in 1548, when he finally encountered the creature in Spain? Do you remember how each of the very carefully chosen words expressed by this vampire warmed our heart each time we read them? For they were all extraordinary windows to a past of which we only have a glimpse. Well, Titus Flavius Josephus is no more, since the Vatican's hunters destroyed him a few weeks ago. And with him vanished unearthed treasures of knowledge about the pillars of our civilization. This is a crime probably as heartbreaking as the killing of an innocent life by a vampire. This is exactly why the path of the Guard of Priwen is as criminal as it is barren. For each time they succeed in conducting one of their methodical hunts on the old vampires of England, instead of carefully and respectfully approaching them, they destroy a part of our common roots with the immortals. They wipe an opportunity. The concept of great hunt is a crime, for it is blindly killing words and thoughts. This is a little odd. There can't just be pressure plates here. Has to be for something. Okay, let's work our way back. The shop is. Dawson's Mansion. Old church. Merchant there. Be the hideout. Just cut through. And given the length of this one, I think I'm going to end this one off here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next